Welcome back to Peak Mastery. The fight world has become the Wild West. Let me explain. The White House card has finally been announced and it's being headlined by Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje for the lightweight championship. Co-main event has the heavyweight debut of Alex Pereira be taking on Cyril Gane for the interim heavyweight championship. The fight card features credible fighters such as Sean O'Malley, Bo Nickel, Diego Lopez, just to name a few. Let me know in comment which fight you're eager to watch. I can't wait to see Alex Pereira, how he would hold his own against heavyweights, being the first ever UFC 3-weight class champion. The most controversial, Sean Strickland takes on the current middleweight champion, Khamzat Chimaev, May 9th, UFC 328 in Newark, New Jersey. I love me an underdog story. First it was Adesanya, second Chimaev. Could Strickland catch lightning in a bottle twice? Chimaev dominates in this fight, but these two have trained together. So that means Strickland has the highest chance of winning this. Dana White just went on a tear announcing all sorts of fights. UFC Perth, May 2nd, top lightweight contender, Beneil Dariush takes on young, hungry finisher, Quillen Salkill. UFC 328, you have Waldo Cortez taking on Alex Volkov for what should be the next contender for the heavyweight title. You have former champ Jan Blachowicz taking on Bogdan Guskov. Rematch for the top spot of the light heavyweight division. Same card, King Green, Jeremy the Heathen Steven. Fun, throwback, veterans going at it. Why not? UFC Vegas 117 on May 16th. Have Arnold Allen taking on Akaziel Costa for the top ranking in the featherweight division. UFC going back to Macau May 30th. Song Yadong facing Davidson Figueiredo. A fight for who gets to stay in the UFC. Ming Yang Zhang versus Alonzo Minifield. It seems to be a highlight reel for Zhang in his home country. Sergey Pavlovich taking on Palestine Texiera. First giant to connect the shot wins. UFC Vegas 118 on June 6th. Headlined by Bilal Muhammad taking on Gabriel Bonfim. Does Bilal get eaten alive or does he get back to title contention? Please comment, let me know which fight excites you the most. Me personally, I'd love to see how Costa beats Volkov for potentially a shot at the title. MMA promotion PFL just released Francis Ngannou. PFL being restructured with their new CEO. Francis being an expensive fighter, being a no-show at PFL Africa events, which was made for him as an ambassador for the company in the continent. He is now scheduled to fight on the Carano and Rousey fight card on Netflix against Philip Lenz. Philip Lenz being a vet at 18-5, working formerly for UFC, PFL, Bellator. It's a solid co-main event. Funny enough, Francis Ngannou, he's already looking deep into the future. Hearing about the trouble in paradise between Jon Jones and the UFC, Francis said if Jon can get his freedom, then Jones would get the red carpet treatment. The $30 million to fight Francis. With everything going on between Jon Jones and the UFC, is this finally a possibility? The greatest of all time, Jon Jones, is leaving the UFC. Jones really wanted to fight at that White House event. He didn't get it. Unfortunately, he requested the same amount of money that he would have got paid if he would have fought Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight championship. He even settled for a little less and still didn't get it. The UFC had their figures and they weren't budging. Jones is now requesting his release from the company. Jones feels that he has been lowballed and that if he had agreed to the figures that were offered to him, then Dana White wouldn't have gone on record and said Jon Jones has arthritis and shouldn't fight. Let me know, what do you all think? Did Jon price himself out? In my opinion, I feel Jon didn't do himself any favors in that whole Tom Aspinall situation. I think Dana's had enough of Jon Jones in general when he requested that amount of $30 million. He got it. Soon after, even turned down to fight Aspinall. Tom Aspinall, the current UFC heavyweight champion, got himself a new manager, Matchroom Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn. The timing of this scenario isn't good. Dana White, the promoter of Zuffa Boxing, just acquired English superstar Conor Benn in what was portrayed in the media as a betrayal to Eddie Hearn for $15 million. Ever since, Dana White has heavily clowned Eddie Hearn. And what would seem Eddie Hearn in turn is now managing Tom Aspinall. Eddie cites that Tom Aspinall has been criminally underpaid, that the UFC needs heavyweight stars, and that Tom Aspinall doesn't need the UFC. Eddie Hearn has been in his fight game for a long time. Even his father was a big shot boxing promoter. Hearn is solid. He brokers deals that the fighters love, the networks like. Everybody's happy. What do you guys think? Does a champion that's screaming eye pokes is worth all this bad press? Honestly, I feel the whole $15 million Conor Benn signing really rubbed most UFC fighters the wrong way. Conor Benn isn't even at the top of the food chain in his sport, yet he's getting that sort of cash? Francis Ngannou was just released from the PFL and he's already calling out everybody, including boxing Jake Paul. Francis is already scheduled to fight on the Carano vs. Ronda Rousey fight card on Netflix, where the conversation was brought up between Francis and Jake. Francis stated he didn't want to fight Jake, he wanted to beat his ass. Before Jake fought Anthony Joshua, that fight was offered and on the table for Francis Ngannou. Francis immediately dismissed it. He thought it was beneath him. With the hefty bag Anthony Joshua made in their previous fight, of course he came back looking for a bigger payday. Jake states that Francis ran like a duck, that Jake lasted longer in the Anthony Joshua fight. Get this, Francis would get worked in boxing. Unfortunately, this fight won't happen anytime soon. Jake Paul has sustained so much damage and fractures to his face, and it hasn't been healing properly. We're talking about he won't get a chance to return until this time next year. I just don't believe that Jake is willing to return and break his face again for more bags of money. He has already secured plenty of millions. So the real question is not who wins it, will this fight actually even happen? Zuffa Boxing 4 just took place. Headline of the card was cruiserweight Jai Opetaia defeating Brandon Glanton in a 12-round unanimous decision. Jai looked very impressive, and Brandon did too. In fact, he seemed durable, a relative unknown, and he showed that he's willing to compete against elites in the boxing world. Jai was then awarded the first ever Zuffa Cruiserweight World title. Congratulations. Great news, right? Jai is currently a defending International Boxing Federation as well as a ring champion. It's been days, yet we're not certain if the IBF had Jai vacate the championship. The mass confusion actually lies where the IBF didn't sanction the fight. Brandon Glanton is not a ranked fighter. And truth be told, this all stems from that time where Dana White went on record to say that Zuffa Boxing will not acknowledge the rest of the boxing sanctioning bodies. Of course, except the prestigious Ring Magazine title. So in turn, the other sanctioning bodies are not recognizing Zuffa. The title means so much to Jai. He had won that title from Marius Bradis. This is the man who had a razor decision loss to the #1 heavyweight undisputed Mr. Feel himself, Alexander Usyk. Jai's face has been broken for this title. He has defended this title several times. So currently Jai is holding the title, but there is trouble in paradise. What do you guys think? Should Jai stay with Zuffa, secure some more hefty paydays, or should he return to the rest of the boxing world and finally achieve that undisputed status? Jake Paul did it again. Give credit where it's due. MVP Promotions just signed the former US Olympian bronze medalist, 3-weight division champ Mikaela Mayer. The 22-2 blonde cutie is the current defending welterweight and middleweight champ. The first time I've heard of her was when she took on fellow cutie Alicia Baumgartner. And the other fight that you should watch is when she took on Natasha Jonas. Funny enough, the fights that I enjoyed her first were the ones where she lost. She performed incredibly, but hey, judges choose who they're going to choose. The way Jake Paul has done such a great job in promoting lesser known fighters and fights in general, such as fellow female boxer Amanda Serrano, turning her into a star. I wonder what he could do with Mikaela. Let me know, who's your favorite female fighter? Me personally, I think Clarissa. Her being the GOAT, just dominating the way she has been. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. If you would consider commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, I'll be constantly uploading. See you soon for some more fight news. For more in-depth content, go and check out the rest of my YouTube channel. See you soon.